Well, I felt so good, you know, I was boogieing just the same. Well, I felt so good, I was boogieing just the same. Oh, boogie chillin', boogie for me one time, George.
Hi, welcome to the Tim Qualls Show, coming to you from St. George's, Delaware at the country store. And when I say country store, I'm telling you, it's not a store, folks. This is a unique establishment. I mean, I love it down here. This is Gene sitting here with me. Gene, let's talk the country store, because it was a country store.
Originally, it was a country store way back in the day, and the Bacini family took it over and used to sell pies and cakes out of here. Then they turned it into Joe wanted to turn it into a Cajun restaurant, and it's been that ever since. And once they added a little bit of music to it, and it just grew from there.
Yeah, the blues. I mean, Cajun restaurant blues, it all New Orleans style. I mean,
it all goes together.
Yeah, and just good food and everything else. But what I like is the fact of the blues and what you've done for the blues in this community and bringing it in like you have. I mean, it's just unbelievable. You just finished up, of course, we'll talk about that here in a minute, but you just finished up less than a month ago, St. George's
Blues Festival, and then this past weekend, the Riverfront Blues Festival. So I'm wore out.
Yeah, so a big blues, you're bringing blues right here, location.
Right here in St. George's.
And when I say that, you bring in, and folks, if you're interested in catching the show, because you can always find out the show, we'll give you the information here in a minute, Facebook, website, and all that. But if you're wanting to catch the show and you see somebody, get your tickets quick. Because you don't have a huge establishment. You're going to do some add-on later on. But here right now, 50, 55 people.
We sell 45 seats for the show. That's it. That way everything's comfortable. There ain't no standing here, ain't nobody in your face. You can get up, you can walk around, meet and greet the guests. I mean, when you go to a festival, you're not allowed around the artists.
Very intimate setting here, and
oh,
food. Yeah. So you got to check the schedule. You got some things coming up in September. I was looking at offhand, because you're taking a break. You got local artists that's performing.
Well, if there was bands coming through right now, I probably would have snatched them up, but they're just. Right now, it's just for some reason there's a little lull in the action. But it'll pick up through the fall.
But you have locals that's in here.
Oh, absolutely.
You have music,
local and regional.
You have music what?
Tuesday through Saturday.
And nonstop. Coming start. I think at 6 o'clock.
Right. Yep. 6. Matter of fact, tonight we got Zach Lees on the bill, the young boy right out here from Delaware. He's originally from Chesapeake City, Maryland. Great guitars. Tomorrow night we got James Dean, another young character, and then Saturday we got the Roger Girk Band, who just came off a heck of a show at the Riverfront Blues. They opened it up.
So there's music, even though there's not the major acts. I mean, and the nice thing is, if you like blues and you like Cajun food and want to go to New Orleans, you don't have to make that long trip. You can come right here to St. George's. But I'm excited because you let me utilize this since I closed down my studio. It's too much for me to do anymore. But you let me come in here and shoot Tim Qualls show from here, and I really appreciate that. And today we have Hall of Fame, Delaware Hall of Fame people in-house coming on and chit-chatting about the Hall of Fame.
It's awesome.
Yeah, good people too.
It is. They're all good people.
Yeah. And when you say Hall of Fame, rock and roll, you still got blues artists going into it. You still have jazz artists going into it. Alfie Moss is with us. A nice atmosphere, folks. You're going to really love it. Check out St. George's Country Store. Address come up on the screen. Gene, always a pleasure. I want to thank you for letting us come down here.
Absolutely.
We got an exciting show. I got to get to it. And go rest, my friend. I know it's been a long weekend.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, boogie chillin'. Boogie for me one time, George.
Taking care of my mother is so hard. All my life, she gave me the best care she could. Now it's my turn. I have to find my mom the best care.
At Always Best Care, our caregivers are matched to meet your needs. And we even give you access to on-call, round-the-clock physician support, along with your in-home care. If you need help with your mom or dad, call 1-302-409-3710 or visit alwaysbestcaredelaware.com.
Boogie chillin', boogie for me one time, Joe.
Welcome back here to St. George's Country Store in St. George's, Delaware. I'm telling you, I'm excited because my next guest, I kicked myself, and I'm sure a lot of other people are, you know, Delaware Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. New organization last year. I mean, I can't believe nobody had ever thought of all the great acts and stuff that come out of Delaware and recognizing them. I mean, and you guys have done so. Let's talk about where the concept come from.
We were sitting at home, we were living in Colorado at the time, and we were talking about how much we loved our memories, the groups, you know, I talked about Larry Tucker, and, you know, we're talking about all these great memories. And George said, you know, we should see if we can get some of our friends, you know, involved in this. Let's, you know, talk. And I said, we can put a Facebook community page up. And it went nuts. Everybody's so attached emotionally to, you know, who they were then, and the memories that the music evokes. And eventually, you know, a couple of years in, we realized if we want to have a museum, you know, a school, whatever.
It takes time. It takes money.
Well, we needed to come home, too, because nobody's going to give us a grant in Colorado, you know, for a building here. So, woof, we did. And it just went crazy. We got incredible support from the community, from people like the Sin City Band, who, you know,
my buddies.
Wonderful.
If you live in Delaware, you don't know who the Sin City Band is, you don't live in Delaware.
That's it.
I mean,
That's
those
it.
guys, I'm trying to think the other day how long they've been playing, because they're still out there.
45 years.
45 years, and that's like, and somebody that went in last year was one of the greatest I know of, Al Santori. When he, you know,
Al
there's
Santori
another
and the
one.
Highlighters, yes.
He probably did. I was talking to him one day, and we were trying to figure out 20, 30,000 weddings, you know, over his years.
Crazy.
Yeah, because you know, he was marrying kids of grandparents that he, you know,
Gotcha,
you know,
the third generation.
yeah, just unbelievable. What a great. And let's talk about it, because, you know, I can see somebody like Al. How do you go about selecting that band? I mean, what would make you select the band for the Hall of Fame?
Just knowing somebody who says, hey, how about putting Al Santori in
He's
the Hall of
kidding.
Fame?
He's kidding. He's kidding. They have to have been either from Delaware, really active in Delaware.
So it's a Delaware thing.
It's a Delaware thing. Yeah, we've been just a little bit. But there are endless bands. I did an installation at the Newark Historical Museum of just Newark bands. And in a little space, I put in 60 bands. And
Oh, wow.
60 bands, and that didn't touch it. So it's been really, really wonderful making all these contacts.
I know it's new, and things are going to develop into how you go about selecting them and things like that. But what caught my attention is I was looking at who's been selected in and who's coming in this year, and I'm thinking, you know, it's about Delaware. I mean, and the people, you know, that are coming in. I mean, today's guest. Let's get to it real quick, and I'll bring them up here in a little bit, so you got something, you know, to look forward to. Alfie Moss.
Yes.
When you speak of Alfie Moss, you know, one of the greatest here from the state of Delaware, plays locally all the time.
And she is the essence of jazz in
Oh,
Wilmington.
that's
Alfie
getting
Moss
better.
and Dexter Coons.
Oh, yeah. And I was talking to a few guys that were here as we were setting up, and I told them Alfie Moss was coming, and they're like, Alfie Moss? I haven't seen Alfie Moss in years. I said, because she's playing in all the museums and stuff, because you don't get invitations to that. She plays all the big, but she's, and that's the reason. Alfie Moss is the jazz, you know, and a lot of jazz festivals got some coming up. We'll talk about her. And then I looked and I said, wait a minute, how do you go from Alfie Moss to Mario Rocco? And then I thought,
it's Delaware.
That's and there's not a, I can't think of a bigger name than Mario Rocco in Delaware.
Absolutely.
And, you know, when you look at that and those two, but you got a lot more coming in. Has to be tied to Delaware. So
Right.
who are we looking at inducting this year?
We're looking at Jimmy Staten's Rockabye Band. Okay, these guys are from way downstate. The one who is still here, rather than has relocated somewhere else.
Honey Vashel.
Honey Vashel. Honey Vashel has the drum shop down there. He's still teaching. He has a band that's still playing.
And he's 82 years old.
Yeah,
82 years old.
and full of vitality.
Yeah.
I need a nap. He keeps going. So, yeah, you know how that goes. So we're inducting them. We're inducting, and I just happen to have their picture. I don't know how well you got it. The Trade Winds. The Trade Winds had national hits. They're made up of 3 or 4 Italian families. They got brothers in here and cousins
right.
in here, and they wowed everybody. They had the Wildwood Twist and the Snake. They were on the Wham's top.
So some from way back, some that are still going now.
Yeah, we started concentrating like from the 1950s, the 60s. So we started with the early guys, but we're bringing it up to date now.
Right. But you got, when you talk about that, I was thinking in my mind, because some of the greats have left us.
Yeah.
And
Al
they're no
Santoro
longer.
is gone.
Yeah, he was one. Johnny Neal, who's being inducted this year.
Johnny Neal this year.
And thank God he's all right and doing well. But he experienced it. Yeah, had a stroke. So he's learned how to walk and talk and all that again.
He's recovering, and his right hand's still playing beautifully.
We found the right hand piano for him. He could only play with one hand.
Yeah.
Because it's a right-handed
piano.
piano.
An organ.
Yeah, but getting some of these guys that are, I hate to say it, I'm getting up there in age myself, but some of these guys are moving on. You mentioned 180-something years old,
right.
So I think it's very important to really look at some of those guys. And I'm just trying to think, because I heard rumor that you guys were going to kind of let people get involved with the selection and
yes. If they purchase a membership, which is $25. Okay,
for a year.
For a year, yeah, they'll be included in lots of inside things, but they're also going to be able to vote on an inductee. We'll come up with a group of maybe 3 or 4 of them, and we'll let them choose one of the inductees, which would be really fun. It's a way to get your guys in. Now, we're just edging up to the later in the 70s and the 80s, but we still got a bunch to put in. Last year we put in
Teddy and the Continentals.
Teddy and the Continentals.
5 Diamonds.
Yeah. When you're looking at that, because like I said, you can't do a massive, hey, let's all come in.
Yeah. The other thing is, if they sponsor us for $100 or more, they get that membership, that choosing of the inductee, free.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
included.
guys, I know you got the big show coming up.
Yep.
Let's talk about that, because a lot of these guys are going to be performing at the show.
Absolutely. You're going to see, along with who we talked about, you're going to see Nick Everett. We honor some of the local DJs, Michael Ace, Mitch
Thomas.
Mitch Thomas, who everybody loved. The first black DJ, the first black bandstand show. Beloved man. So we're honoring some of the people who made the music happen.
There's so many of them. I mean, someday, you guys are just getting started, but some days, as it carries on, somebody's going to say, we need to induct George and Paula. For the work.
We're going to do Elvis. We'll do Elvis.
We'll do all Elvis's hits.
Yeah. But I know we got to get to our guests, so I want to do that and everything. So I'm going to take a quick break and clear the little area we got here.
Absolutely.
The show's taking place, when is it?
The show is September 22nd at the Baby Grand. It's Sunday afternoon. However.
Let me do that, because I love to do that. I've teased you about the show and everything else. It'd be a great show to come to. Sold out.
Sold out.
I'll be out front scalping. I got about 4 tickets. So. It's a rock and roll show.
Rock and roll, make it happen. Tim, great to see you as
You're going to
always.
stay here, because I'm going to bring up Alpha.
Oh, yeah.
Chit chat with here. Stay right there for 1 second, George. We'll be right back right after this.
Boogie chillin'. Boogie for me one time, George.
Taking care of my mother is so hard. All my life, she gave me the best care she could. Now it's my turn. I have to find my mom the best care.
At Always Best Care, our caregivers are matched to meet your needs, and we even give you access to on-call, round-the-clock physician support, along with your in-home care. If you need help with your mom or dad, call 1-302-409-3710 or visit alwaysbestcaredelaware.com.
Oh, boogie chillin'. Boogie for me one time, Joe.
All right, welcome back here to St. George's Country Store. I gotta plug this place on food, entertainment, atmosphere. And any time that this young lady walked into a house, it glows. And everybody here was excited when I said, Alfie Moss is coming. Alfie Moss! You know, how are you, young lady?
I'm doing well, thank you for asking.
Congratulations, first of all, inducted into the Delaware Hall of Fame.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on that?
I'm excited, and I was wondering why I was inducted because Dexter Kuntz is really the guitarist, and he's been playing with a lot of bands.
Yeah.
So it's both of us together.
Yeah, I was going to say Dexter. You know, with you without Dexter, that's kind of, you know, in today's times. But you've had a long career. I mean, you got to be blessed and feel blessed of the things that you've been able to accomplish in your lifetime here in the state of Delaware. Let's talk. How did you get started from way back when?
Well, I'm from Miami, Florida.
Right.
And I used to open for James Brown, Stevie Wonder, the Bar-Kays, with this band. I was moonlighting, and suddenly I had a voice, so I didn't realize I had a good voice. And we began to get more popular as time went on, and then my mother moved up here, so I moved with her when I graduated from Miami-Dade College.
Okay.
Is where I graduated from. But her first love was still living, and he was here.
In Delaware. So.
Yeah, in Delaware.
So.
And so Clement Couch was his name, and they couldn't do anything because they were both married and had children, you know. So she decided to leave Florida and come up here. Because see, I really went to school in New York City. My elementary school days were in New York.
I think we're going to do what we got to do is skip the Hall of Fame, write a book.
There you go. She brought so much to this community. She really did. She's a fabulous gospel singer. Her Caribbean stuff is infectious, and she just, you know, she and Dexter are seminal in the jazz community
I know when it's
in this era, but the thing that's most important that she talks about all the time, and it makes sense with all of the mix mash that she came up with to become who she is, she talks about community. She wants to see music in community and jazz, you know, supported in community. So I'll let her talk a little bit about that. But does anybody need an answer to the question that she had? Why are they inducting me into the Hall of Fame?
I don't think anybody, that I've ever, as soon as I mention Alfie Moss, everybody gets excited because it's a pleasure just to have Alfie Moss in the building with us. I mean, it truly is. Now you got up here,
I got involved with with Larry Tucker, who heard me sing, and he and Dexter and a few other musicians took me by the hand and said, "Well, this is a place. This is a place. Sit in here, sit in there. The Blue Barn,
Right.
the Blue Barn, and the
Blue Ball Inn.
Blue Ball Inn.
Yeah.
Was a place where we hung out a lot." And the Melton Brothers let me sit in with them, and then they called me up to see if we could rehearse. And we were rehearsing for a long time in their garage over there on, I think it's 13th Street. And then we started doing gigs together. So I was set to perform with them. Although I had been to Philadelphia, performing with Alfie Pollard and all the musicians on that Chitlin circuit, it just was not stabilizing for me. So I came back home and started working with the Melton Brothers, and we started doing country jazz.
I'll be
country
darned.
jazz.
I'll be darned.
Dan Hickson is hot lick.
Oh,
How can I
yeah.
miss you when you won't go away and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then, but you've just grown and developed, and you've really brought more of that jazz sound to Delaware. I mean, and you talk about it, you mentioned it, community is very important to you.
Well, the only reason is because I studied here. I studied at Christina Cultural Arts Center. They had the Tallman House on 7th and Church. and I was studying jazz there, and I was studying jazz dance and ballet with Sidney King, who taught Lola Falana. So it was a cute little, it was almost like little Harlem to me.
Right.
So I started working, and then Dexter came home off the road, and he is the nephew of Boise Lowry, who was the mentor to all jazz musicians, including Clifford Brown.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
So we all studied together, and we started working. I mean, it was nothing else to do.
Yeah,
it was
'cause-
the thing to do.
Because we mentioned somebody that I know that's going to eventually be in the Hall of Fame. It was Kenny Jones, and we mentioned him. And Kenny, because when you say study jazz, jazz is completely different. Kenny said that's the hardest music he's ever had to learn how, because he started going that way, and he did the rock and roll, he did the blues, and he started developing and going to it. And he said that's an art you really have to study. You really do.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a blueprint.
yeah.
It's almost like you can't do what you're doing just off the cuff all the time. You have to actually study.
Have a little structure.
Yeah, have some kind of structure, or else you'll get
That's
bored.
where I failed. That's where I've gone
Could've
wrong
fooled
all
me.
these years.
Could've fooled me.
But to get and then Paul and them coming along and to get into this Delaware Hall of Fame.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, I can see now that.
The vision.
Oh, the plaque that comes out on down the road and
Yeah.
things like that as we get into a building and things like that, and the first inductees and the second inductees,
Yeah.
to be there and know that you're going to be recognized 50, 100 years from now.
Wow.
You got to think about it. Once a Hall of Fame gets started and builds and gets the momentum, and that's what we need our local Delaware people, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that here in a minute, to get involved, to help support and get that building built, get that museum where people can come down on the riverfront. It'd be great down there for people to come in and visit
Absolutely.
Delaware Hall of Fame. But let's talk about, you got things coming up. I mean, this show, I've always, for 30-something years, I've been promoting local music, and I think this is something I've always loved to do. So I guess it's been, 20 years we're trying to figure out since I saw you, man. A lot happened in my life, changed some things. Now I'm back going strong again. But let's talk about, because you got some great events coming up.
It's great events, and one of them is the Delaware Rock and Roll Music Hall of Fame. And guess what? I performed with half of those bands also, because I remember Larry Tucker was taking me around.
Yes.
And I was sitting in with all these guys. And I had already done, like...
Well, they'll probably come
ruined
out and
my
start
voice a
performing and
little
say, wait a minute, get Alfie out here.
Oh, I can do it all.
Yeah.
And well, basically what we have done is really work toward publishing songs, originals. And so we have between Dexter and I, we have over 300 songs.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
To the point where our promoter has come to town to actually get those songs from Dexter. He actually moved here. His name is Norman Connors, who sold over 1 million copies himself. But he's from Philadelphia, and we're all working on this thing. And but I did my first recording right here at Fred's.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say right across.
I'll be darned. Yeah.
Yeah, we recorded there.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Across the street?
he was in here earlier.
Cogdale.
Gary Cogdale.
Gary Cogdale.
Gary, he was in here. He said, he comes this. I told him, I said, "What's this? Your kitchen?" He comes over, gets a cup of coffee, and goes back across the street. But what the music industry in Delaware, you talked about it, so tight, because it's such a small community.
Yes.
You talked about way downstate. Well, when you're talking Delaware versus Jersey and Philadelphia and the rest of them, way downstate's 2 hours away.
Right. Right.
So it's a very short distance. Everybody,
Yes.
I mean, how many times you played at the beach? In fact, you're going to the beach.
28 years.
Yeah, you're going to the beach because that's coming up.
Yeah, the Rehoboth Beach Jazz Festival is always in October. The Sydney Arts of Sydney Side Street doesn't do it anymore. She's working with blues right now. What is it called? Bethany Blues.
Right.
Yes.
But when she was involved, because she actually started it,
Right.
we were there. Gerald Chavis was there. Dexter was there. Don, I can't remember his name anyway, but he referred us to her, and we started the Jazz Festival. It
Yeah.
was completely the whole circuit of performing. So we're doing this October 19th. We're doing the Rehoboth Beach Jazz Festival at a place called Just in Time. We've been there almost 8 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll be glad to be there on a Saturday. It starts at 7 and it's 10 and it's no cover. It never really is a cover.
Yeah.
Cool.
The next thing I'll be doing going back, it would be September 22nd at the Grand Opera House for the inductees.
Of the Delaware
Yeah, you
Rock
got-
and Roll Hall of
Yeah,
Fame.
Delaware's
You got to be excited about that because, you know, being able to perform and especially not only performing for the audience and the crowd, which a lot of them going to be musicians anyways, because everybody wants to be a part of it, but, you know, your peers and all the folks backstage and all that going on back there to see all these people. Because a lot of them, everybody I said, you know, I say Alfie Moss, they say, I haven't seen her in so I'm
Right.
like, wait a minute, is she hiding from us?
Well, she talked about, she and Dex talked about the idea of possibly having Club Fred, you know, back them. Club Fred is our house band. They are being inducted this year. These guys practice every week. It's a group of 7. They've played everywhere for everybody, and they've raised over $5 million for nonprofits. They just go in and say, we'll play for you, we'll do a show, and they still work like crazy. If you follow Facebook or any of that, they're somewhere every week, sometimes twice a week.
They're a lot of them successful businessmen.
Yes.
And it's not for the money, it's for the love of music.
That's
and,
it.
And that's why they're so successful and they play everywhere. They give so much
They're
of the
giving
time.
back.
I've known Fred Dawson for many years.
Forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, and
Kathy Layfield, Mark
Yeah.
Sisk, these are phenomenal folks.
I just got. We're going to change Mariel Rocco's name. When he
Okay.
did, you know, you
It's
remember No
the-
Show Jones?
Will this be
Now
the
we're going to have
late?
no Show Mariel.
Okay.
Yeah. Mariel had texted me. He's running into some difficulties now.
Okay.
And so he's not going to be with us. But I want to thank you guys so much.
Thank you so
Alfie,
much.
congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. Sorry.
I'm so honored to be on the show with her.
Yeah,
what a sweet-
you know, be sure and check out. Well, you can't. Tickets are sold out, but going to be a great show.
Oh.
Maybe we'll get a camera down there and shoot a little bit of this. That wouldn't be, you know, that could be backstage interviews.
We'll talk. We'll have coffee.
Yeah. Well, you have your people call my people, and we'll get together.
I wanted to mention one more thing. August 18th, we'll be at the Prices Run Park at 2 o'clock. It's a Sunday.
Oh, that's
Performing
great.
With Cedric Napoleon, who played with Pieces of a Dream and Grover Washington.
Oh, my
He's a
goodness.
bass player. And in December.
August 18th. That's
Yeah,
coming
December.
up.
Just watch me on Facebook, please.
Yeah, and we'll
Alex
post.
Bouillon
Well, I
is
have my
coming.
guy posting where your show is up and everything.
Yeah.
For more information, you can always go to Alfie Moss Facebook page and
Yeah.
find out. And I never seen you without Dexter, so I want to say hi to Dexter.
Hi,
right?
Dexter.
Yeah,
Hey, Dexter.
And maybe next time we'll get him on here along with you. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay.
We'll catch you more from the country store in St. George's for the Tim Qualls Show. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Well, I felt so good. You know, I was boogieing just the same. Well, I felt so good. I was boogieing just the same. Oh, boogie chillin'. Boogie for me one time, George.